Have you ever looked someone in the eyes for the first time and felt like your soul already knew theirs? No words were needed, no awkward introduction, just a powerful, peaceful feeling, as if your heart sighed and whispered, "You're safe here. This isn't luck, nor some random cosmic accident." CARL Jung talked about synchronicity, where two souls connect, not by chance, but because they are perfectly in tune with each other. It's rare, it's intense, and when it happens, nothing else seems to matter. Conversations become deeper, and silence feels comfortable. You no longer have to wear a mask or explain yourself because this person doesn't just hear your words. They feel your energy. But here's something most people don't want to hear. Not every deep connection is meant to last. Some people come into your life, not to stay, but to wake you up. They arrive like a powerful storm, unforgettable, and before you even realize it, they're gone, leaving behind questions, clarity, and sometimes a crack in your heart that never fully heals. So, how do you know? How do you tell if this person is your soulmate, or just a reflection of your wounds, your growth, or an unfinished healing process? Let's take a look. Because the truth is, some connections are your destiny, and others are lessons. If you can't tell the difference, you might hold on to a ghost while letting go of the guide meant to light your way. Chapter 1. Synchronicity. The timing of the soul is never wrong. What you find in the other person is a reflection of your own soul. Have you ever met someone and felt deep inside that something was shifting? It wasn't a typical attraction. It wasn't about looks, status, or charm. It was something deeper, like the echo of a feeling that your soul recognized immediately. Jung called this synchronicity, when two people's paths cross, not by chance, but on a much deeper level. He believed that beyond our conscious choices, there's an invisible thread that connects us through energy, frequency, and vibration. When this thread tightens, two souls align perfectly, without anything being planned. Many relationships begin with logic, shared interests, or physical chemistry, but the strongest connections start in silence, the invisible, honest energy between two people. That's why you can meet hundreds of people without feeling anything, and then meet one who completely shakes your world. It's not about the surface, it's about resonance. It's as if your soul is a piano, and this person touches a key you didn't even know was there. Suddenly, you remember a part of yourself that had been dormant. They don't bring it to you, they reflect it. And that's the magic of synchronicity. You don't fall in love with them. You fall in love with the version of yourself that wakes up when they're around. Maybe they bring out your tenderness in a harsh world, or push you to grow in a healthy but scary way, or even reflect your pain, forcing you to face it. That's the power of synchronicity. It's not about perfect circumstances, but perfect alignment. They come when your soul is ready, not when everything is perfect, but when you're broken enough to accept a deeper truth. Some people don't come to stay. They come to spark an awakening. They're not forever. They're a mirror, a guide, a spark, a storm. They shake up your world to reveal what's been dormant inside you all along. So, the next time someone enters your life and feels like destiny, don't just ask, "Who are they?" Ask yourself, "What part of me do they reflect?" Because the timing of the soul is never wrong, and every synchronous encounter has a message if you're quiet enough to hear it. Chapter 2. You attract what you haven't healed as long as you don't make the unconscious conscious. It will direct your life, and you'll call it fate. May I ask you something personal? Have you ever looked back at your past relationships and thought, "Why do I keep attracting the same kind of pain?" The names change, the stories vary, but the same wound repeats itself. It's not fate or bad luck in love. It's your unhealed parts making the choices. Most people don't realize this, but we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. Or more accurately, we attract what still needs healing inside us. If you carry wounds from a childhood where you didn't feel good enough, you'll attract people who treat you like you're not enough. If you fear abandonment, you'll fall for people who always leave. If your self-esteem is shaky, you'll be drawn to those who constantly challenge your worth. It's not that the world is out to get you, it's that your soul is trying to get your attention. Suffering isn't punishment, it's a teacher. Every broken relationship isn't a curse, it's a classroom. These experiences show us where we're still hurt, the parts we've buried. But most of us don't see it. We blame others, curse love, pull away. We forget it's not them. It's the mirror they hold up to our pain. Relationships, especially the painful ones, act as mirrors. They don't create your wounds. They reveal them. They expose your buried fears, unhealed traumas, and the stories you keep repeating in silence. If you don't look at what's reflected to you, without guilt, but with honesty, you'll keep reliving the same lesson in different forms. The people who ignored you reflected your fear of abandonment. Those who made you chase their love mirrored your belief that affection has to be earned. The one who was emotionally distant showed you your rejection of vulnerability. Every person is a message. Every heartbreak is a wake-up call. And here's the hard truth. You don't heal by staying in the same place where you were hurt. But you can heal by understanding why you were drawn to that pain in the first place. Chapter 3. Not all soulmates stay. Some people come into your life like a wildfire, sudden, intense, and uncontrollable. They don't ask for permission, they just show up, and your world changes in an instant. You didn't see them coming. You weren't ready, but something about their presence feels like home, like your soul has known them forever. Everything about it is overwhelming. The connection, the chemistry, the late-night talks, and the silence that speaks volumes. You start to believe this is destiny, that this is love, that this is the one. But then, one day, they leave. And you're left standing there, trying to understand how something that felt so right could disappear so quickly. You start to question everything. Was it real? Did you imagine that connection? Here's a truth that's hard to accept. Not all soulmates are meant to stay. Yes, it was real. Yes, it was important. But that doesn't mean it was forever. Some soulmates don't come to stay. They come to awaken. They show up when your soul is asleep, when you've forgotten who you are, when you've settled for less, or when you've buried your truth so deep that you don't even recognize your own voice. They come like fire to burn away your illusions, to shatter your false beliefs, and to break your heart open. It's painful because growth often comes with pain. But that's how growth works. Chapter 4. Love starts in fullness, not in lack. The meeting of two people is like the meeting of two chemical substances. If there's a reaction, both are transformed. We live in a world obsessed with finding the one, the perfect person, the missing piece, the soulmate who will complete us. But here's the hard truth. No one can complete you if you haven't already done that for yourself. Love that comes from a place of lack isn't true love. It's emotional dependency, a desperate attempt to fill a void the other person wasn't meant to fill. We don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. If your soul is full of chaos, confusion, and unhealed wounds, you'll attract people who reflect that chaos, not because the universe is being cruel, but because it's consistent. That's why a wounded person often ends up with someone emotionally unavailable. Why some people rush toward distant partners, or why others settle for less than they deserve. It's not fate, it's frequency. And frequency doesn't lie. Energy doesn't respond to your desires. It responds to your beliefs, your inner vibration, and your self-worth. If you go through life seeking love, validation, or someone to save you, you'll attract people who reflect that need, not your completeness. They won't bring you peace. They'll bring intensity. But intensity without stability burns everything down. You'll think it's passion, but it's really just suffering disguised as love. You'll think it's romance, but it's just your unresolved trauma playing out. True love isn't an addiction, it's alignment. Sacred love doesn't begin when you find someone. It begins when you become someone. Not someone perfect, but someone whole. Being whole doesn't mean never being vulnerable. It means not expecting the other person to heal all your wounds. It means you've already faced your fears, healed your past, and learned to give yourself the love you once sought from others. When you're whole, you stop chasing people who only feed your emptiness. You start attracting people who resonate with your peace. You no longer get caught up in toxic infatuations. Instead, you build meaningful connections with people who support your growth. This isn't magic. It's emotional physics. When your frequency changes, your relationships change. People who once seemed magnetic now feel chaotic. Those who ignored you no longer hold your interest. And the people meant for the healed version of you show up almost effortlessly. Love finds you when you no longer need it to save you. It comes when you stop asking, "Who will complete me?" and start saying, "I am already whole. I am already enough." That's when love becomes a transformation, not a transaction. You no longer see two broken halves clinging together in fear. Instead, you see two whole people choosing each other with strength. So, if you're tired of repeating the same destructive patterns, stop looking for love outside yourself. Turn inward. Heal your wounds. Raise your standards. Change your frequency. Because when your energy is whole, your love will be too. Chapter 5. The Illusion of Forever. We grow up believing in a fairy tale, a promise passed down through childhood stories and wedding vows. Once you find love, it's supposed to last forever. But here's the truth that's hard to face. Not all connections are meant to last a lifetime, and that doesn't make them any less important. Every soul you meet has a purpose in your life. Some come to teach you how to love, while others show you how to let go. Some help you see your best self. Others remind you of the person you never want to become. And none of them are mistakes. Even the ones who hurt you, left you broken, or made you question your worth. They were lessons disguised as love. The real mistake isn't when a relationship ends. It's when you hold on to it after its time has passed. You beg, you compromise, you devalue yourself just to keep a bond that your soul has outgrown. And what happens? You suffer. Not because the other person changed, but because you refuse to accept that you've changed. As you grow and your energy evolves, some people will naturally fall out of your life. Not because anyone failed, but because your souls are no longer in sync. No amount of effort, argument, or nostalgia will keep two souls who are moving in different directions. It's like trying to fit into shoes that are too small. You can try, but it will hurt with every step. That's what happens when you hold on to people who no longer match your energy. You suffer emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Love isn't meant to be a prison. It should be a path to truth, freedom, and growth. When a connection's purpose ends, you'll feel it. There's a quiet inside, a disconnection, a sense that something isn't working, even though the memories are still sweet. It's in those moments that you need courage. The courage to let go, to release the illusion of forever, to honor what you shared, and be grateful for it while accepting that it no longer feeds your soul. Letting go doesn't mean you didn't care about that person. It means you care more about your growth than your fear of being alone. It's when you realize you're not losing the other person, but rediscovering yourself. The person you were during the relationship was still searching, still afraid of being alone. But now, you're different. You know no connection should hold back your growth. Stop trying to revive what's already gone. Stop clinging to people who fit the old version of you. Bless them, thank them for the experience, and move on, ready to embrace what will elevate you even more. True love doesn't bind you to eternity. It frees you to become who you were always meant to be. Chapter 6. The mirror never lies. Everything that irritates us about others can help us understand ourselves better. CARL Jung. It's easy to blame someone else when they hurt us. They abandoned me. They hurt me. It's their fault. But what if instead of seeing others as enemies, we saw them as mirrors? reflections of all the parts of us we've ignored or avoided. What if the person who broke your heart wasn't the villain in your story, but simply a mirror? Your emotional triggers aren't random. Your patterns aren't just coincidences. They are messages from your unconscious, from your soul. When someone disrespects you, makes you feel small, or irritates you, don't just focus on them. Look at what this person is reflecting back to you. Every relationship, especially the painful ones, is a mirror. It shows you where you're still hurting, where you're fragile, and where healing is needed. Think about that person you can't seem to move on from. You replay every conversation, analyze every text, hold on to every memory like an open wound. But this mirror never lies. It shows you a truth you may not want to see, but one that you're ready to face if you have the courage to accept it. Chapter 7. When two whole souls meet. There comes a moment, after all the heartbreaks, the toxic patterns, and the nights spent questioning your worth, when something inside you shifts. You stop chasing love, stop begging for it, and stop bending yourself in every direction just to be loved. Instead, you begin the real work. You stand in front of the mirror and face the wounds you've tried to hide. You break down the old stories from childhood that made you believe love had to be earned. You stop running from your shadows. You learn to give yourself the validation you once sought from others. And step by step, you heal. Not to perfection, but enough to stand strong on your own. And when that happens, something incredible happens. The right person comes into your life, not to fix you or complete you, but to meet you where you are. There's no strategy, no manipulation, no playing games, no anxiety masked as passion. Just alignment, serenity, and connection. You no longer need to prove your worth or fear silence from the other person, because their presence brings you peace. For the first time, love doesn't feel suffocating. It feels like breathing. You laugh more, trust more, and surrender more easily. Not because the other person is perfect, but because you are whole enough not to crumble when they're not. You no longer need to be saved. You don't need to fill a void. You've already filled it with your own journey, your goals, and your healing. So, what happens when two whole souls meet? Magic, but not the kind that blinds you. It's a magic that builds you up. It's not a flash in the pan, like fireworks that fade away instantly. It's a slow-burning, warm, steady fire. There's no obsession, just mutual recognition. It's like two travelers returning home after lifetimes of searching. They don't complete each other because they were never incomplete. They complement each other. Their presence doesn't fix your life. It amplifies the joy you've already created. Their love doesn't heal all your wounds. It honors the strength you built by healing them yourself. This is sacred love, not because it's dramatic or perfect, but because it's real, natural, and grounded in self-awareness and mutual respect. This is the reward for all the inner work, the real victory of choosing to respect yourself, and the divine alignment that comes when you stop settling for chaos in the name of connection. If you're still in the middle of your healing process, freeing yourself from layers of pain, know this: once you've done the work and made peace with your past, once you've learned to love your own company, that's when the right person will show up. Not to rescue you, but to rise with you. Here's the challenge. Not just from me, but from life itself. Stop searching for love. Start searching for yourself. Because the love you desire, the deep connection that shakes your soul and haunts your nights, isn't hidden in another person. It's already within you. The person you're hoping to find will never reach you until you've found yourself. Not just the parts of you that are polished and flattering, but your fears, your guilt, your shame, and your wounds. CARL Jung once said, "Your vision will only clear when you look into your heart. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks within awakens." You've been dreaming. Now it's time to awaken. Go inside yourself. Sit with your pain. Break down the lies that tell you you're only worthy of love by proving something. Here's the truth. You don't attract what you wish for. You attract what you've already become. If you want whole love, a sacred connection, a relationship that feels like peace, then become whole, sacred, and peaceful yourself. Do the necessary work. Answer the calls of your soul. Then, the people meant for you will show up, not by chance, but by alignment with the energy you'll be radiating. This is your challenge, your journey, your awakening. Are you ready? If this message resonated with you, know it wasn't by chance. Your soul needed to hear it. It's been whispering to you for so long, and now it's roaring. This is the sign you've been waiting for. It's your mirror, your moment. No more excuses, no more waiting for someone to save you, no more chasing after those who don't see your worth. Now, go ahead, do what's necessary. Face the mirrors, heal your wounds. Forgive those who hurt you, not for them, but for your freedom. Let go of what no longer belongs in your future and become the person your past self always dreamed of becoming. Because real growth doesn't happen in noise or grand displays. It happens in silence, in solitude, in self-respect. If you're truly ready, write in the comments, "I evolve." Not just as a word, but as a declaration to the universe, to your pain, and to your past. Let the algorithm make its noise. You come with the truth. Subscribe for more words of the soul that don't just inspire, but transform. This journey isn't about begging for validation. It's about becoming unshakable. And it all starts, as it always has, from within. No theatrical endings, no false promises. Just this: you already have everything you need inside you.